Hi there, Chris here. So, sometimes on eBay you can find a pretty good deal on locks. This Avis here is a 83 series, and it has an Everest core in it. And this was about 40 bucks. Now you have to read, on all these different deals, you have to read the fine print. And I knew this was zero bidded. And it didn't come with a key, and it was locked. And I thought, okay, I'll just pick it, which is fine. But you still need, if you want to pin it to something like real bidding, you need, either a blank or a key, a blank to cut or a key. And this takes a, this blank is a Schlage C123. And that means it's this keyway, and it has the little cutout for the check pin. Now, most of these Everests come with a check pin on the side. This one, and it said in the fine description, did not. So, okay, that's fine. And I'll show you what the difference is. So we'll get. I should have done this before. So we'll get this out. He said, I'll get this all the way out. And you'll notice it has these 83 series have this little guy on here. If it's this way, it's not key retaining. If you flip it over, it can be key retaining. So also in this this variation, this is where the 6-pin goes, and often you will get this little plate and a security pin and a spring. But then you have to figure out what pin you want to put in there, what pin like that you've cut your key to. This one, I'll show you the difference. This one doesn't have a check pin. This one does. And I'll show you what that looks like. Are we out? Yes, we're out. So this has a little carrier, goes on this kick, and there's where your check pin is. And you can see it's recessed because the key, when you have the key in there, this little slide guy takes care of that. And now, you can see, come here, see how that moves? So that's recessed and that's not. So that's the difference on there. But let's talk about pins, and let's talk about how I would focus my camera and how I would pin this up. Now recently a friend of mine in England asked me if I could set him up with a pinning kit for 1100 American locks. And he had found a pinning kit that was like 126 bucks, but it was like 40 bucks shipping. And he wondered if there were different options. Well, there are. One thing you can do is you can find used pinning kits. Like here's a used lab kit. Now these won't fit the 1100, but this is kind of what you get. You have all the pins and master wafers and stuff. You don't have security pins, but you have springs, and you can pin up a lock. When you buy a pre-owned one, you can bet that a lot of these are misfiled. When you buy a new one, and hopefully it's protected when it's shipped, and that used one was, I don't know, maybe 50 bucks. And when you buy a new one, it's all pristine and all the right pins are in the right places. So that's two options. They're kind of expensive. This one like this, usually in the plastic boxes are about 65 bucks and then some shipping. This is a metal box. This is probably more expensive. But there's other options. You can go to find some websites, and these are websites generally here in the US, and these are lab pins. And you can buy them, and I bought all these and put them in these little bags. And I put what pin number is and how tall they are. So I have 0 through 9. In these type of kits, you get even more longer, smaller pins. Well, not smaller pins, but longer pins. And so these are all, this can pin up just about a great deal of mini locks. I mean, you can pin up a quick set with these. You can pin up a Schleg. You can pin up a lot of stuff. And these are a lot cheaper. I could find, for my friend in England, I could find him, what he was looking for were springs and security pins. So for about 12 bucks, $13, $14, you can get pins, security pins, and you get your serrated ones in your spools and different sizes and springs. And that's what he was looking for. So for about 14 bucks. So I ordered some of those, and I'll send those off to him. So that's a lot cheaper than 126 bucks plus 40 bucks shipping. And so that's a good solution for people who don't do a lot, but you're going to want some security pins to play around with your practice locks, and you're going to want some springs because springs get messed up. I probably have a ton of them here, unless I've thrown them out. I try and keep them out. Here's a broken one. Here's one that got here's one that got mangled. And that happens. It happens quite frequently. I always say don't be pinning up and gutting locks when you're watching videos. Because you're going to mess up. You could brick a lock, you could screw up a core. But I often don't follow my own advice. And so it's nice to have a set of pins, key pins and driver pins, security pins and springs. And so the cheapest way is to buy just these little packs. And I don't know, the one I bought was, I think there's 50 of each, and there's 4 or 5 different security pins and like 100 springs or 50 springs, and for like about 14 bucks. All right, cool. You know, that's a good way to solve the problem. Now, if you are going this route and you have a nice little mini kit or a large kit, one thing to do, if you've bought a new one or you've got a old one, when you're pinning things up, and these are cool because, I mean, both of them, they show, that's for Schleg, Quickset, Weiser, sorry, Sargent, Arrow. So you could pin all these up, and these tell you which ones, how to set it up and how to master and what that all equals up to. But when you're working out of your pinning kit, and something I found immensely useful when I was pinning up all of those medicos, all to the same key, is medicos. You see, you have these sizes here. Well, medicos have like 6 different variations for almost each size. So you can get messed up. You know, you pick one out and you're working on your core, and you go, oh no, that's not it. Oh, wait a minute. Where did that come from? Because they're not color coded. So what I do is, when I have this little marker, so what I do is, if I'm working out of this one, this 200, I'll just put the marker in the 200. work with my pin. Okay, it works. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, okay, I know exactly where that goes, so I don't, cross-file these things. So you could use a little piece of paper, you could use a mint, you could, put a turtle in there. That's where I'm working out of. It's a placekeeper. And it just keeps your pinning kit nice and correctly filed. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. You start out by eBay and going pinning kits, and for what type of lock you want. You want American 1100, put that in, 1100 pinning kit. And you'll see the big ones, but you'll also see other guys that have broken them up and sell them in these key pin packs, security pin cap packs, often with springs. And like I say, 14 bucks as opposed to, 65, 165. If you're talking medicos, forget about it. So I hope that's helpful, and it shows some of the options that work well for if you're just going to do, Locksport. You're not going to pin up, 60 locks. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will pin this up. Like I say, this came 0-bitted. I will pin this up and put it in here and have a nice Avis 83 closed shackle. All right, hit the like, ask a question, leave a comment. We will see you next time.